Thank you so much. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt feelings at the incredibly generous words you were all subjected to just now. I mean, it really is somewhat overwhelming. It's been an incredible 12 months, an incredibly warm reception from day one, and I am incredibly grateful for the confidence that all of you have so foolishly placed in me. Of course, the biggest thank you does go to the Board of Trustees, who have a very weighty responsibility on behalf of the people of New Jersey, as Mary said, and I take that delegation quite seriously. The passion for this university is as abundant as it is obvious, so the trust that has been placed in me is both humbling and motivating. The whole Montclair State University community, students, faculty, staff, alumni, members of the general community, all have offered me full support from the very beginning. That starts with the people right around me in the president's office, Keith, Karen, Pam, Tim, especially Lillian, who I see at the end of the day as she's ready to make my office clean, if not neat. That's my problem. It extends to our incredible deans and vice presidents who have gotten right on board with the agenda that we've established. The University Senate, extremely enthusiastic, responsive. Our union leaders who are ready to form a constructive, collaborative partnership to do great things at this university. And let me say, it extends to the whole community of higher education in New Jersey. I want to recognize my colleagues here today. Thank you so much for being here, but thank you so much for the welcome that you gave to me. We really are fortunate in this state to have such a collaborative ecosystem, and we're going to do great things together. All kinds of universities, public, private, four-year community colleges. I have to, of course, recognize my family. You've heard a little bit about them. I tell a lot of people that I'm an incredibly unoriginal person. I basically averaged my parents. One was a professor, one was a politician. I became a professor of political science. There's some truth to that, although, and as I'll talk about it, I think that what really inspired me was the idea that you could use a university to accomplish a lot of the things that we're trying to do in public service. I also want to recognize my father. The chancellor made reference to his strange Queens College fetish, but I want to recognize my stepmother, Lorraine, who's been a part of our family for 40 years and has been an indispensable rock for us all, so thank you. And my sisters, Carla and Jacqueline, who are here today, who are indispensable resources to complain about the people I just was talking about. I can't go further without acknowledging my wife, Jennifer Steen. By the way, Chancellor, she is a sixth-generation graduate of the University of California, where I met her, a public university which I'm proud to call my alma mater. Jennifer and I was reflecting on this. Jennifer and I, in our journey since graduate school, we were Fulbright professors together in China. And a story that stood out to me was we found ourselves, perhaps owing to our less than awesome Mandarin skills, we found ourselves changing flights and realized that we were on a flight to a city we had never heard of. It's not good. We together divided and conquered. We ran back. We got our luggage back. We changed in the ticket. We bought new tickets and entirely conducted, all transactions entirely conducted in Putonghua. We knew from that moment that we could get through anything together if we work together as a team, and we have done so, including getting through our children, Elsa and William, who are here today, and we've survived that so far. I also was reflecting on those who are not here. So I want to talk about that in two categories. So one, a lot of people influenced me who are no longer with us, and those faces, those people are flashing through my mind, and I just want to acknowledge that, obviously including my grandparents who were mentioned, who had a profound influence on me, and so many others who helped me along the way, including teachers, to Roger's point. I'll come back to that. But that's actually not the main thing. What I wanted to acknowledge was all of the people who actually did all the things that you just heard I did. I had a part in it, fine, but I'm only standing here and only can point to those accomplishments because I've been joined on this journey by fantastic people who are committed to doing great things. That's what makes it possible to dream the dreams that I have and we all have for Montclair State University. So I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I want to give a round of applause to all those people. Okay, so you might ask a question about today's festivities. Why exactly do we need to do all this? Was this guy even actually president for the last year? The short answer is, I think so. Although this removes any doubt, it does mean that every mistake and misstep that occurred before this ceremony, none of them count. That was all pre-season. Not part of my career statistics. Seriously, the symbolism of this marker of office, I think, speaks to the purpose of this gathering, and it's been alluded to already, because nobody can miss out on a good metaphor. I am a link in a chain of leaders who served as stewards for Montclair State University, and being presented today by Presidents Koppell and Reed, who, as we have heard, have played defining roles in the evolution of this institution, means so much. Thank you both for welcoming me to this very exclusive club. But both of them would tell you that the real star of the show today is Montclair State University. This ceremony is a celebration of a vital institution that has been ambitious and pugnacious, confident, and sometimes underestimated, but always focused on its public purpose. Today is a celebration of our power to do great things when we work collectively, remembering that our destinies are intertwined. So really, all of us are links in a chain that connects the people who for generations have made this university great. But most of all, what I see today as, and this is what I want to focus on, I see today as a celebration of imagination. This extraordinary human ability to form mental images of things that do not exist, that have never existed, is unique in the animal kingdom. It is our key advantage and the root of all progress. We can describe these visions, share them with others, and then draw upon knowledge and understanding accumulated across generations to make real that which has never been, to take something as ethereal as an idea and transform it into something as concrete as this building. Wizard of Oz author Frank Baum, who knew something about imagination, said that dreams with your eyes wide open and your brain machinery whizzing, are likely to lead to the betterment of the world. The imaginative child, he said, will become the imaginative man or woman, most apt to create, to invent, and therefore to foster civilization. But how do you cultivate the creativity of the child and empower her to take a conjured vision and mold it into something buildable, replicable, usable? At their best, universities are places where people answer this question, where people learn to harness the power of their imagination. Progress in every discipline is ultimately driven by applied imagination. Long before we possessed microscopes with the power to see bacteria, scientists imagined that there must be something not visible to the naked eye transmitting disease. And their successors surmised that cells contain the information that guides physiology, leading ultimately to the discovery of DNA, RNA, and the building blocks of genetics. Fortunately, this audacious imaginativeness was cultivated at universities, for it ultimately led to the incredibly rapid development of COVID vaccines that allow us to be here today together. Yes, universities are living, breathing monuments to the power of human creativity. And even as we work to fill curricula with essential information and introduce students to problem-solving tools, we must remain true to this ideal. Now, if it sounds funny to hear an academic, and I still, after all, as Professor Collins said, I'm still, after all, a faculty member, it sounds funny for me to downplay the importance of knowing stuff. So take the word of an adopted Jersey boy with street cred as a scholar. Imagination, Albert Einstein concluded, is more important than knowledge. Indeed, this very institution is a product of vivid imaginations that said universities can be quite different than the old world academies from which they descend. But that reinvention is not complete. It's never complete. Today, the need to marshal our creativity for the ongoing project is greater than ever. We're gathered at a time of great uncertainty. There's no reason to avoid that truth. Humanity faces an existential threat in climate change amidst a host of other challenges. And our ability to respond is hampered by a serious breakdown in American democracy that rightly has a significant portion of the population worried about the future of our republic. More immediate to this proceeding, the value of higher education is being questioned in an unprecedented fashion. Now, it's natural to push back at this sometimes uninformed criticism that is as unfair as it is scathing. But today, let's do something different. Let's own it. The truth is, college has failed far too many people. The majority of Americans who have attended college do not actually possess a degree. And about 40% of those struggling with student debt that we've heard so much about lately, 40% have nothing to show for it. They're arguably worse off than if they hadn't started to begin with. So it's small wonder that many, are cynical about higher ed. Now, there's two ways to respond to this. We can criticize the arguments, we can point out where people are wrong, or we can take the advice of Cicero and criticize by what we create. Powerful idea. Don't respond with words, respond with action. Indeed, I imagine Montclair State University confronting all these challenges head-on. I can see it so vividly in my mind. Together, we can build Montclair State University as an exemplar of a public-serving university, a solutions engine firing on all cylinders to create the world we wish to inhabit. Now, I do realize that using an internal combustion engine as a metaphor, when I just talked about climate change, it's a bit off. Please bear with me. The electric vehicle just doesn't offer the same dynamic imagery. Bruce Springsteen is not singing about strapping anybody's hands around his battery. So let's picture the powerful pistons of our solutions engine, an unstoppable social mobility slingshot, a research-driven innovation generator, an energetic force multiplier, a steadfast and responsive community partner, and a sustaining pillar for democracy and public service. The proposition that college education should be available to any person, regardless of wealth, status, or privilege, was truly radical, as the Chancellor said, an enormous leap in imagination. Having Chancellor Matos, leader of the Access Institution, embrace Montclair State University as CUNY's spiritual partner is so gratifying. It is why I feel privileged to be here. And as proud as I am of his description of Montclair, a majority-minority, Hispanic-serving institution that's becoming inclusive while growing to record levels, the success of our students is most gratifying. Recently, we were recognized as one of the best universities in the country as measured by the extent to which our graduation rate exceeds expectations. Now, Montclair has thrived because we devote a lot of energy to helping students prepare to succeed in college. We have one of the most robust EOF programs in the state, with hundreds of students every year getting the support they need to realize their potential. We've created and expanding programs to reach students before college even begins, and we'll try to reach future Redhawks and their families even earlier if we can. The point, however, is this. To build a real social mobility slingshot in the 21st century, we have to get beyond the minimum question of who is allowed to enter the hallowed halls of our great institutions of learning. We have to even get beyond teaching others how to overcome the challenges in succeeding in college. Why not push ourselves to remove the obstacles? Let's get rid of the hidden prerequisites that emerge as stumbling blocks. Let's reevaluate everything, how we operate, how we offer degrees, how we organize ourselves, everything, with an eye toward creating a better environment for student success. That includes launching this year an Office of Student Belonging and doing a comprehensive campus climate survey as a step toward building a more equitable community for students, staff, and faculty. It means leveling the playing field of student experience so that life-altering opportunities like study abroad or internships are not off limits to anyone. That is a matter of money, and we have put more resources into these areas and welcome more. But it's structural as well. Consider that the typical semester-long program for an international experience is just not viable for those who are caregivers or primary breadwinners. So we're shaking up the conventional approaches, and we will continue to do so. But this is really just the beginning. How do we reinvent higher education to take advantage of the changes in technology, the ways people learn and interact, the very things we learned about during COVID? Our Montclair Unbound initiative will answer this question. Through Montclair Unbound, we will offer degrees in ways that combine modalities, in-person, asynchronous online, real-time, distance interaction, to meet students where they want to learn. This will require significant adaptation on our part. I don't want to downplay that, but I'm so confident in the staff and faculty of Montclair State University and their devotion to our purpose. And we will invest in their growth and development so that they have the tools to succeed and they have the opportunities to advance as well. That is our mission. It is not exclusive to students. It's to everyone who's part of this community. But Montclair Unbound is not just a platform. It's really a mindset. And our embrace of Bloomfield College that Marquita spoke about so eloquently is reflective of that mindset. I really cannot say enough about my friend and partner, Marquita Evans. I feel so fortunate that our paths intersected at the right moment. Bloomfield College, I agree, Bloomfield College will emerge as a critical integrated part of Montclair State University, offering a differentiated learning experience, yet drawing strength from a robust research community. This is a critical step in the evolution of higher education, a new model that is student-centric, that is designed to overcome the structural impediments to success that have thwarted true access for so long. And as Dr. Evans is showing, this is not about us. It's not about our positions. It's not about our institutions. This is about putting the students and the communities we serve first. So she says, what would Jonathan do? Give me a break. What would Marquita do? That's the right question. I'm gonna make you applaud for that. So let's talk about research and scholarship for a moment. Even after the doors of some colleges opened to an increasingly diverse population of students, it was not considered plausible that such institutions might do research on a level that rivals highly selective universities. One could be excellent or accessible, not both. Public universities that have excelled as research leaders, frankly, have often done so while evolving away from an access orientation. It took a leap of imagination to say that an institution can be a driver of research excellence and innovation, on par with the most elite institutions in the world, while retaining a commitment to inclusivity. That is what Arizona State University stands for, and I feel privileged to have been a part of it for 11 years. I want to recognize several of my colleagues who are here today, and also say hi to the viewing party that's happening in Phoenix right now. I learned so much as a part of that, and I feel so fortunate to find myself here at Montclair State University because it shares that access excellence DNA. From its earliest days, Montclair was known as a national leader. Harvard on Valley Road, it was apparently called. You say it that way, that's the right way to say it. But it still took some imagination to envision Montclair State Teachers College joining the ranks of high research activity doctoral universities. And yet here we are with an outstanding faculty securing more external funding every year. Indeed, one of our biggest boundary constraints is the limited space to accommodate the many projects our entrepreneurial professors are creating. But true to our public purpose, we must look beyond the conventional measure, dollars spent on research, to gauge our success. Montclair State University must be a research-driven solutions generator. This is already happening. I hope you got a chance to see some of the centers out on the green earlier today. Our Center for Water Science and Technology is ensuring New Jerseyans have access to clean and healthy drinking water. Our Center on Autism and Early Childhood Mental Health is giving school districts evidence-based tools to empower neurodiverse learners. Our Center for Audiology and Speech-Language Pathology is providing access to assessments and therapies. I could go on. New music, new insights, new enzymes, new ways to restore a healthy planet. This is what a research university can create. This is what we will do here. And it must be fully intertwined with the educational mission. Our fantastic, dynamic, awesome new provost, Junius Gonzalez, please, Junius. Made launching a university-wide undergraduate research program one of his highest priorities, and we are making this happen this year. We will support that with more than 30 faculty searches, the largest number in years, as we continue to raise the bar for what this university can be. And let me say quickly what we won't do. I know we're going to talk mostly about what we will do, what we won't do. Some colleges boost their prestige and improve their ranking by becoming more exclusive. That is, they get better by turning away more people, often by ginning up more applications for expressly that purpose. We categorically reject, pun fully intended, we categorically reject this approach, and we always will. Now, making hands-on learning part of every Montclair student's education has myriad benefits. Students learn to apply classroom lessons in real time. They feel the satisfaction of making an impact, and they deliver on our promise to be a force multiplier for social progress. Of course, this is our original purpose. Montclair, as we've heard, was created to train teachers. And although we blossomed in a multitude of directions, we never lost that orientation. The newer parts of our university, like our still young nursing school, embody the same leap of imagination that says a liberal arts education can be fused with career preparation. The bias that says otherwise was and is elitist and exclusionary in effect, if not intent. And we are committed to continually redesign our university to put our students in a position to both thrive professionally and grow intellectually. The two can go together. And to that end, I'm excited to announce that following the recommendation of a faculty committee charged by Provost Gonzalez, we will launch a new college focused on the health professions and contributing to community well-being that draws on strength across the university. At the same time, we will recommit to our core historical commission and create a college laser-focused on education reimagined. These will be two new powerhouses. Future educators and health professionals will engage with our talented faculty in an environment of inquiry and innovation. They will have practical learning opportunities to reinforce and contextualize classroom instruction. Thank you, Superintendent Leone, for highlighting the fantastic Red Hawks Rising partnership, a perfect example. And for the record, I can spread, just like the best policy debaters, and get a lot of words in, too. And I won't tell you that if you don't agree with me, the world will end in nuclear war, which is what most policy debaters will tell you. It's true. This approach will yield problem solvers and adaptive learners ready to take on all challenges. Requires deep collaborative partnerships in the communities we serve. To achieve our purpose, we must erase the lines that separate campus from community. 160 years ago, the Moral Act imagined this possibility with the creation of land-grant universities. President Lincoln signed this law in the middle of the Civil War because he knew the extension of the university into community would drive the agricultural and industrial development of a growing nation. Now we must forge a new model of an engaged university that advances community aspirations rather than merely test theories. It's truly gratifying to have Mayor Andre Sayegh here from Paterson. I'm so excited by what is taking shape in this important, dynamic city. We have embarked on a series of initiatives that involve us partnering with local nonprofits, government agencies, businesses, community groups, and philanthropies to build a stronger community. In fact, when I was doing research for my interview, as one does scanning Google Maps, I came across this really cool-looking old stadium near a beautiful waterfall. You heard about it already, Hinchliffe Stadium and Great Falls National Park. In the coming weeks, we will announce a significant role for the university in the revival of Hinchliffe Stadium that uses the incredible history of Paterson as a teaching tool to advance K-12 students. And as you heard, this is just the beginning. We have a lot of things that we're going to do together. I cannot wait. And it's not limited to Paterson, it's not limited to Montclair, it's not limited to Clifton, Little Falls, or Newark. This is what we will do anywhere and everywhere we are welcomed as a partner, and where somebody thinks Montclair State University can help advance their aspirations, we are eager to be a partner. All of this is fantastic, and it's an extension of the work that the talented and committed faculty of MSU have accomplished all over New Jersey. We need to support, amplify, and empower all of those efforts. That is why we will build a first-of-its-kind community action nexus that will serve as a hub for faculty, staff, and students seeking to connect, and a front door for those communities who see the university as a potential partner. Finally, and I mean that, to quote another of New Jersey's great bards, or not to quote him, but to refer to his work, we are more than halfway there. Come on. This is a boss crowd. I got it. One of the most impressive demonstrations of imagination's power is the birth of this nation as a functioning constitutional democracy. Rather than simply detach from the British Empire, and I know people might be confused about this right now, but we did detach from the British Empire. The founders imagined a country governed through elections with representation and participation defined by rules that established and limited authority. Now, it was deeply flawed in many ways. Our country's origins were rooted in the twin evils of slavery and the dispossession and genocide of Native Americans. And many of the prejudices and inequities of that time were hardwired into the system that was created. Still, democracy that was born under the Constitution proved capable of adapting, improving, addressing some flaws through amendment and evolution. Professor Collins called me out for my man crush on Frederick Douglass. I am guilty as charged. Douglass is one of the greatest Americans ever, precisely because this remarkable individual, born into slavery without even his personhood recognized by the laws of the land, somehow saw the possibility, somehow possessed the incredible imagination to envision an America where he and his descendants would have the rights and responsibilities. So we should have the imagination to see beyond the flaws in our democracy today. It's still a young experiment that we're trying to get right. We will have that democracy if we have the imagination and the doggedness that Frederick Douglass possessed, and we have an obligation to do nothing less. This democracy will not be sustained without us reinforcing a spirit of public service. Universities must lead the way. This university must lead the way. I feel really strongly about that one. The strong embrace of public service and civic engagement at Montclair with a vibrant Bonner Leaders program and multiple AmeriCorps programs is a big part of what drew me here. My goal is ultimately that every Montclair University student will have a public service experience as part of their education here, and we will become, as the video said, New Jersey's premier public service university. As an important step toward achieving that aspiration, I am pleased to announce that we have launched the Next Generation Service Corps at Montclair State University. This program builds on an initiative that I led at ASU to establish the first 4-year comprehensive public service leadership program for students across the university. We then worked with our partners at the Volcker Alliance, founded by another great New Jerseyan, Fed Chairman Paul Volcker, to set up a national network with the goal of reaching all 50 states by 2030. Montclair State University's first Next Gen Service Corps cohort is launching right now, and I'm extremely confident that with all of your help, Montclair students will be leaders in growing a national movement of universities that already includes schools like Penn State, University of Washington, Indiana, Georgia State, and yes, CUNY. As it should. So this is the Montclair State University of my imagination. It is a prototype of a public serving university that we need today. One that expands opportunity, invents solutions, empowers problem solvers, engages our communities, and reinvigorates our democracy. We can make it come into being as surely as inventors, artists, and scientists have brought their ideas to life for millennia. I know we can do it because the stories that our students, alumni, faculty, and staff have shared prove it. The journeys they have taken to Montclair and from Montclair are filled with challenges, setbacks, denials, defeats, and disappointment. And yet they are inspiring and hopeful because they underscore the undeniable power of dogged determination, grit, and short-term memory. They end in triumph, success, and a reinforced sense of purpose. They illustrate the inability of naysaying doubters to quash unbending will. And they show the sustaining power of support from loved ones who make it possible for us to do anything. We must do this. The stakes are simply too high. But I believe that universities committed to advancing the public good are essential to conquering every problem that confronts us today. And I know Montclair State University will be among those leading the way. Now, does all this sound outlandish? Perhaps. But we gathered today at a beautiful Spanish Mission campus, improbably situated on a former quarry in northern New Jersey. Who could have imagined that instead of excavating calcite and other minerals from the basalt bedrock today, we would be mining human potential and transformative ideas? You know who imagined that? Our forebears, the architect of the New Jersey State Normal School of Montclair, and every successive generation that made this remarkable institution what it is today. They imagined the university for which the moment called, and they built it. Now it is our turn to answer the bell. Carpe diem. Thank you. Thank you.